Hey guys, what's up? It's Carson, and today I'm going to talk about rereading my novel on my iPad. So my fiance and I got an iPad as like a couple's present for each other for our anniversary, and I decided that as I was getting back into my second romance novel that I wanted to use the iPad to reread what I had already written and take notes. I chose to do this because I thought it would be a useful skill when I'm rereading larger projects. So this was only 36 pages, but when I'm rereading larger projects, it might be really useful to have it in digital form because obviously this is a lot thinner than having a whole big printed out version, and I wanted to test it out. So I started rereading my book and taking a whole bunch of notes on the document. I came up with 3 different highlighting colors. So pink was things that needed to be changed, purple was things that I really liked and I wanted to keep, and orange was things for me to remember. So for an example, the first sentence that I highlighted in pink, it was a tense issue, so I have to change the tense back to past tense, and it was in present. Then purple is talking about Declan. Declan's brother is Finn, who was the hero of my first romance book that I wrote back in April of last year. So this is talking about his brother, and it says we owed each other so much back and forth that we had long stopped keeping track. So I had that in purple because I really liked that. And then I had a highlight here where Declan is talking about a grant project, and I put in the comments, what is this? So that was something that I wanted to remember as I kept going, and I just kept keeping these notes. I would use the pen to make little editing changes, so if things were spelled wrong or if I felt like I could reword that sentence better like in the moment, I would write that down as well. Overall, my feelings on GoodNotes, which is the program that I'm using to take these notes, is really awesome. It is a paid app. I think it's worth the price. If you have an iPad, you want to take digital notes, I really think that it's convenient. It's pretty user-friendly. I'm not super tech savvy, and I was able to figure it out pretty easily. I like that there's a lot of color variety and options. There are some things that I feel like I don't know how to use completely yet. Like, I don't really know how to make copies of things, and I know people can make some really interactive documents where like you can click links and it'll take you to different parts of the document. So that's not something that I really know how to do yet. I just know how to mark up what I have. So what I did was I put my chapters from Scrivener into Google Drive, which I try to do anyway as like a backup, even though I saved them in I saved them in another account that is sort of like a drive, but I try to copy my chapters over into my drive as well, so that if, you know, knock on wood, something ever happened to my computer, I would still have copies of all of my writing. But I just took the documents that I had put in Google Drive, I turned them into a doc, and then I uploaded that to GoodNotes, and then it lives there and I can click on it whenever I want to. I can close it, I can open it back up, and it saves all of my notes there. So I've been using it for a few weeks. I haven't had any issues with things going missing, like my notes not being there when I came back, which is a good thing because there are some websites that don't automatically save. It seems like GoodNotes is really good about automatically saving. So I've really enjoyed it. I think that I would digitally take notes on a piece of writing again, but I think I would probably combine it with physical notes. So there's definitely, like, obviously I'm taking notes over 36 pages, but there's not 36 pages worth of notes. So I'll probably have to go back to the beginning and write down the things that I want to remember, or plot ideas that I had that I marked in the document along the way. I'll probably have to go back and write those into a notebook so that as I move forward with writing, I can reference them easily, and they'll most likely only be like a page or 2 in a notebook versus flipping through 36 pages in the document. But I just wanted to update on how that experiment went for me. It went really well. If you guys want any tips or tricks or how I did it, I mean, I pretty much already told you how I did it, but it ended up being super, super convenient for me. I think that before, I can only compare it to rereading Valor, the first draft of Valor, which was huge, and it was in 2 different bound notebooks, and every time I read it, I felt like I had to have post-its and highlighters and different colored pens and a whole bunch of supplies next to me to work on it, and this fits in my purse. So it ended up being really, really convenient for me. I worked on it while I was at school. I worked on it while I was in class. I even, like, we had to go to CVS or something and wait for a prescription. I worked on it at CVS. It was super user-friendly for someone who is now much busier than I was when I was editing Valor. So I definitely think I'm going to do it again, and I have been thinking about what I'm doing for April NaNoWriMo. I think if I had to give you a definitive answer right now, I think I'm going to reread Might. So reread that, take notes, and form a new plot, or plot changes, whatever Might has in store for me, because I know that there are many different things that have to go on to make Might stronger. So I think that's probably what I'll be doing in April, and I will most likely be rereading it on my iPad, so I can vlog that more next month and kind of give you updates as I go along, what's working for me, what isn't working for me. So I think that's really all I had to update on, but I did want to make it its own separate video. So if you were looking for GoodNotes or how I felt about editing digitally rather than physically, or rereading digitally rather than physically, then you could just look at this video and you didn't have to go through all of my random vlogs that are semi-long-winded. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want any other GoodNotes rereading on the iPad advice, if you have questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will do my best to answer them. And if I don't have a good answer, I will research it and direct you to somebody that I feel like does have a good answer, because like I said, I'm very much still a novice at this. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more life, reading, writing, student teaching content from me, please subscribe down below. I would love to have you here. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.